Welcome to your first set of video notes for pre-calculus. Just so you are aware, this is a flipped classroom setting for just Monday. So everything you see in the video, you want to make sure that you take note of, copy down. You can pause, you can ask questions, think about the problems that you see, and then on Monday we're going to merely be practicing and talking about what you already have written down. So you're not necessarily going to be taking notes the whole time. So that's the idea of the flipped classroom. So we're able to discuss more of what you already have written down. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to go to page 17, the notes, and we'll get started. Each video is about 5 minutes. So if I get cut off, make sure you click the second video. We're going to see some tangent and cotangent graphing for our final pieces in graphing. You saw tangent a little bit last year. Cotangent will be new. So let's look at the tangent graph. I'm going to set it up the same way I do with sine and cosine. So I'm going to do it just as my unit circle, all the way through 2 pi, one rotation. So halfway would be pi, pi over 2, 3 pi over 2. There's our quadrants. Notice how every tick mark is now pi over 4. So when we look at the tangent values of angles, let's start with the angle of 0. Right? These are our x values. And remember that's located here, 0 radians. So the coordinate would be 1, 0. So y over x would be 0. So I have a point at 0, 0. Then I'm at pi over 4. Remember, pi over 4 is a 45-degree, right, conversion to degrees. So that's our 45, 45, 90. So if we do opposite over adjacent, that's going to give me 1. So I'm going to go ahead and just make every tick mark 1 unit. At pi over 3, which is approximately 60 in degrees, right? This is a little bit ways over from 45. The opposite is root 3, and the adjacent is 1. So our tangent would be root 3, and that's approximately 1.7. So that is just a little bit higher. Once we reach pi over 2, we're up here. Our point is 1, 0. So y over x would actually do an undefined value, which means we have an asymptote signifying that it never touches that angle. So it actually will grow all the way through, but it will never touch that. If we go past pi over 2 to 3 pi over 4, remember that's in your second quadrant, right? 40 still 45-degree angles, so now your value is -1 because tangent is negative. So it's down here, and then at pi, again, pi is over here. Now our tangent value is back to 0. So it's very, that pattern-based, right? -1, 0. At 3 pi over 2, it would be down here. It's 0, 1. So that brings us back to an undefined value because we're doing y over x. So actually there's an asymptote here as well. There's a missing value here. So think about this is in our third quadrant, right? So that would be 5 pi over 4. So that would be a +1. So your tangent graph grows left to right from one asymptote to the next, and it curves up. It kind of looks like a cubic function, right? But it's periodic, so it repeats. So then after 3 pi over 2, we're back at -1 here. At 2 pi, we have another 0, 1. So we have this continuing pattern, right? So it would continue on this way. So you see your asymptotes actually occur every pi units, or every pi radians. And that's important to note because the period for tangent is not 2 pi. Another thing to note is that your asymptotes are occurring every pi over 2, 3 pi over 2, or any coterminal of those angles. But again, they are pi radians apart from each other. So this is going to continue on for tangent graphs. So we're going to go ahead, we'll try one in the next video, and then we'll look at